All right, welcome back, my dear student. This is Edwin Diaz from the future. I came back to update the application. Now, there is a function that we're going to be replacing here in functions.php. This function is Autoload. I heard it was getting deprecated, so I wanted to come back here and let you guys know about it. All right, so why is that function being deprecated? Well, because they came up with another functionality which is pretty cool. It's another function called SPL Autoload Register. All right, and let me show you right here about that function. So this function is the new function that we are going to be using. The reason is more flexible, so it enables us to create multiple autoloaders. For multiple autoloaders to be specified in the application, so we can specify multiple autoloaders, not just one anymore. All right, so it's saying that it's being discouraged and it may be deprecated in the future. As the time I'm recording this video is not deprecated yet, but we want to make sure that our application is up to date, at least on this section here. All right, so real quick, let's go back to functions.php, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this to make it work with our new functionality. So I'm going to take this predefined function out, and I'm going to create a custom function called class. Let's just call it class autoloader, like this. We're going to pass in the same parameter, which is basically coming from that function, that code that is scanning or files for classes, and is returning this parameter here that we're going to be using. All right, that's a core functionality. Then we are going to make sure that everything is in lowercase. Then we are going to be including the path, and basically we're going to do the same thing. All right, and then we're going to use that function. We're going to say SPL autoload register, and then we're going to come here, put some quotes around it, paste that in there, save it. All right, now that should work. That should do the same thing, but the difference is that we can specify multiple autoloaders with this function. Now another thing that we are going to be doing is for you to test it, for me to test it, what I did was to create a class. So I went here in includes and I created this class, uppercase car.php. This class with a little method inside, and then I didn't go and included it here. I didn't do that because I wanted to test to see if my autoload function is working. Remember that what this function is actually doing is autoloading the classes that are not included in your application. All right, now don't worry about too much about what I have here that you don't, because I'm Edwin from the future. So if I come here and you see all this includes, don't worry about none of this stuff. If you don't have it, you will in the future. All right, just worry about what I'm doing here, what we're doing. All right, so an empty class, well, a class with a little method inside called car.php, and then we are going also to create a test.php page. That's what I did here, and I suggest you do the same thing. It's in the same level as the index in admin, and I included the header here, so because I want to be able to have the connections, right? And I instantiated that class. You can of course use the parameters there if you want the parentheses, but we're not using them, so I'm not using them. And then I'm using that method just to make sure to run something out of it. So I'm going to come to that test file, and as you can see, it's working. All right, now again, I'm not including it right here. All right, remember that autoload function is just a safety precaution. It's a safety net just in case we forget to include that class, and it's always a good idea to do that just in case this autoload function for some reason fails. All right, let's do a couple more things to this function. Let's fix it up a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. Instead of having all this like this, we can say something like if is file, and we'll say the path. Let's do that one. Let's do another condition. Let's say if it's not class exist. We'll put the class name in here. then we're going to be including that, or require. It's your choice. Save it, come back here and let's test it again, and there we go. All right, so make sure that you have all this down and that you should be good to go. All right, now for those of you that have this constant includes path, because you probably finished the course already, or you already have this, you can just use that here and concatenate it like this. All right, so it's up to you. You can do that as well. So that way it's a little bit more dynamic. But anyway, for those of you that don't have that constant, you can just use this. All right, so anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lectures. Take care.